Hello folks, only me again, back for another track guide. Today I am at Rock Park in the Formula Ford, the FF1600 fixed setup. Haven't changed the brake bias. Weather conditions are spot on for this week of racing. And it's all chicanes today. It's Rock chicanes, so probably the trickiest layout at Rock, but great fun in this car. Best of luck to you. Hope it goes really well. Let us know how you're getting on in the comments below. Give the video a like if you like it. Do subscribe if you want more of this kind of stuff in the future. And if you're feeling particularly thankful, then by all means, click the link below to buy me a tasty cup of coffee to help fuel my laps for next week's guide. Cheers, folks. See you next time. Here we go with my 1 minute 0.909 here at Rock Park Chicanes in the Formula Ford. We're watching the boards on the left hand side here as we come down the main straight. And around about the 2 board, we are going to tip the car in ever so slightly towards the inside of the track, and then we're going to brake quite heavily and initially just come down to 3rd gear. And ideally, we want to be pretty tight on the inside here. Far side of the track runs out very quickly here, so keep the car tight initially on entry, and then we're going to come down to 2nd about mid corner, and the car floated out there. It's a double apex, so we want that sort of mid corner depth, and then we throw ourselves over to the right hand side, and then we're going to brush the brakes for a period of time, come down to 2nd. And the real goal with this corner is to be in this position, which is as far over to the left-hand side as you can possibly be at the end of the corner. We want to be tight to this curb, and that really opens up this right-hander coming up so we can get as much speed out of it as possible. So at the kink in the track here, just ahead of us, we're going to tip the car in. I use a little bit of throttle modulation here just to get it to turn in. You can do this flat. Very much dependent on your tyres, on the conditions. But just a little lift there is absolutely fine just to get the car to tip in. And now we are looking again at this little kink in the track. It's quite hard to spot. But we're going to brake heavily here out towards the outside of the track onto this curb on the left. And we're down to 2nd. And then we need to come out of the brake really quickly, get that rotation in the car. We need to be tight to this first inside curb and hit the gas as hard as we can and get ourselves as straight as possible for this tricky little chicane section. And we're up out over the hill, and we've got another chicane to go. So we're heading out to the outside of the track, and we're looking for this little lump on the track just as the curb would start. If you weren't taking the chicane portion of this track, we're going to brake heavily towards the middle of the track. Effectively, we're kind of aiming mid-track here, which is unusual for us, but we're down to 2nd, and then we're looking again mid-track, but we're focusing heavily on this curb on the right hand side here. We really need to position ourselves so we can take a little chunk out of it, so that we can really straighten up this path to the 2nd curb. And you can take a good chunk out of this curb before you get the off track and slow down. It's the second curb that will get you with a nasty little slowdown heading onto the back straight. Again, you can just take that little bit off the corner. Any more than this, and you're going to get like nearly a 1 second slowdown. So you've got to be really, really careful here. Just remember, the first curb's a little bit more permissive. The second curb is the one you really want to focus getting a good clean exit round. And you don't want to have to lift here. You want as much pace as you can, leading us back down to the last corner. And notice that I haven't positioned myself all the way over to the left here. We don't need to. We can really use mid-track here on entry. We're slow enough that we don't need to use a great deal of wheel rotation to get ourselves around here. So no point making the course longer for ourselves in this case. And we're up to fourth. We're back on the front straight. And that concludes our 1 minute 0.909 here at Rock Park Chicanes in the Formula Ford. There's definitely more time on the table here. I think there's probably another 10th or 2 that I could have routed out. But otherwise, very pleased with this lap. Best of luck here, guys. I hope it goes really well for you this week. Give it a like if you like it. Give it a subscription if you want to see more of this kind of thing in the future. And if you're feeling really generous, and thanks to everyone that has so far, you can buy me a coffee in the link in the description below. And that will help fuel my practice laps for next week's track guides. Cheers, guys. See you next time.